Hey everyone, welcome to my showcase number 3, Technology for Enhancement. So the lesson plan that I'm doing today is great for grades 7 through 9th, and the subject is biology, and I did Quizlet.com and I also did GoogleClassroom.com, and I grew up using Google Classroom and Quizlet. They're both very good resources for teachers and students. For Google Classroom, it's free online learning platform, contains multiple learning resources for teachers and students. A website you can create your own lesson plan and students have easy access to. Provides a place students can use digital learning. By this, it means that students can use Google Classroom to go to what their specific assignments are, and teachers can assign what they specifically want their students to learn, so notes or quizzes or any of that. Classroom is such a good place because it's, especially for younger students, because it's straightforward, easy to learn, especially over the years. And then Quizlet's also the same. Quizlet has so many resources. It's easy to use and it has different types. It has flashcards, it has Space Jam, it has different types of games for people to learn, and everybody learns differently, so that's also a really good tool to use. There aren't any distractions when using Google Classroom. Students stay on task, so that's a really good positive when you're trying to enhance a student's learning skills. Google Classroom is easy to learn and get used to. It's straightforward. You can communicate with teachers easily, and when finishing assignments, it enhances skills. So once a teacher adds an assignment and a student submits it, it just enhances their skills. Alright, so when teachers have their classroom set up for their specific class that their students are in, like for biology, if that was your first bell, you would come here to your little box and it would have when their work's due or what you have for them due today. And if you have other classes like English or something, then there will be another box for them, for you to click on, so you can review what that class is doing that specific day. And if you also wanted to add one, or you wanted to create another class, or you wanted to join a class, you also can do that, which is very good for aides. So if like aides needed to join a class so they knew what their students needed to work on, that's also a really good positive for teachers and aides to do. So if you come here to the biology, so when you first click biology, there's Stream, which is the main platform, and then classwork, and then people is your students, and then the overall grades. So in the beginning of the semester or the year for the students, this is their class code. You'd put that on the screen or whatever, the display, and each of your students will put in that class code, which will make sure they're in the class and they're ready to get their assignments for the year. Down here is all the upcoming assignments. This tool is really laid out good for the students. So if you wanted to leave a class comment, which you would do right here, you just click it, all students or specific students when they did join your class, and then you just leave it here. I did it right here, weekly quiz coming up. Make sure you are reviewing your material. This is just for an example, and if you wanted to edit, delete, copy, or move to top for the students to really see it, then you're also able to do that. Alright, so right here is my, okay, so instructions would be Group A classwork. This is up here is the title for it, 100 points, and when it's due. So you go to the website, this link, find a science article that you find interesting and read it. And then you go on a Google Doc and define 5 words that you did not know in the article using Google to help you find the definitions. Summarize your article in 5 sentences and give me a 5-sentence paragraph about your opinion of the article. Turn in your Google Doc before the end of the class to receive full credit. So then this right here, you would just click this. And then while that's loading, normally students just type in Google Docs. Or you can also go through the 3 tabs. You can also go through the 3 tabs right here. And then the students will have Google Doc over there. Alright, so then while that's loading, you come back here and the students will pick their article that they want to read about. And they would follow the class instructions right here before the end of the class. So then you go here to a blank Google Doc. That's why one thing I really like about Google Classroom is the 3 dots. There's normally 3 dots over here and you have everything that the student will need. And then right here you just easy access to finishing your assignment online. Alright, so after students do their assignment, they will normally put a start assignment and then turn an assignment bubble over here. But this is on a teacher mode, so you can't see that right now. But if a student doesn't understand something or they need help with something, they can also come down to the class comments. And if a student has Google Classroom app downloaded on their phone, then they'll get the notification that somebody commented. And they can interact with each other. So if somebody didn't understand something and another person did, they can also come down here and comment, and then somebody else can comment back at their comment to make sure they knew what they were doing. So also teachers can do that. So if a student ever needed help, that's also a good resource to have. So if I needed to edit something into here, I can also do that. So right here is where you'd set up your thing. So my title was Group A, Class 4, and then do that day. And then I could also assign it to specific students. So if a student was absent and they want to do work, or if a student wanted extra credit, I could just assign it to that specific student. The point spectrum, the topic if you wanted to add one, and the due date. And then just click save. So then over here, the presentation side, the UDL guidelines are met both ways because students can learn the way they like to. Every student learns differently, and Google Classrooms let them express their learning styles. So by this, I mean that if they wanted to comment and interact with each other to understand it better, or if they wanted to specifically comment towards a teacher, they could do that if they didn't want to email her about something. So after this, you can go to students' work, and Group A for this, you can see who's all turned in or who's it's specifically assigned to. Right here, you see all the emails that you got, the comments that you got. And Google Classroom is pretty straightforward. I grew up using this. It's easy. All your classes are right here. There's no extra stuff that makes it more confusing, especially for younger students. And then the ISTE standards were met, the knowledge constructor, and the creative communicator. And then that's my showcase number 3. Thank you.